Good morning. Sorry, I'm trying to. I put the umbrella up, but the sun is right there, so I'm blind. Anyway, it's Friday. What, October 3rd, 2025? I believe so. I'm still working on flannel pants. It's coming shortly. I had to scrounge up a drawstring. I went to the store. They didn't have any at the store we stopped at anyway, and I just wasn't in the mood to go to, somewhere else. And I have a spare room full of stuff, and I just needed to dig through it. I didn't find a drawstring per se, but I did find some like cotton. What do we call that? It's not tape. It's not vinyl gross grain ribbon, but it's a cord, right? Like flat. Anyway, it'll work. I'm sorry, I'm rambling. I got up this morning and was drinking coffee and watching videos on social media. Well, YouTube. YouTube's the only one I participate in. And I know we all end up stuck in bubbles. I do. I've seen it. I've seen people in rooms that I'm in, right? But the topics are completely independent of each other, but we're in the same place, which means that we're like-minded, and I get that, but I worry we end up, you know what I mean? Only seeing each other all the time. Anyway. And I'm hesitant to dare to hope, I guess. After all of this, I've been hopeful and hopeful and hopeful and very wrong in all of my predictions in the last 8 to 10 years. Oh, except for the Roni. I was right about that. That it was going to be bad. That it was going to be awful. That it was going to spread fast. That it was going to be devastating. Just, anyway. It's data. Tells a story. I heard somebody screaming about that yesterday. People don't care about the facts. That's just your feelings. That's cool. Whatever. I'm gonna start rambling. And I hesitate. There have been a few times where I've spoken my mind, but I don't go anywhere, as my mother doesn't even see the video. Maybe I dropped one too many F-bombs. I don't know. It doesn't matter. I think it was because I was speaking about countries. Anyway, so I'm, okay, hopeful that human beings, are Americans in particular, are starting to see the theft of our wages, our livelihoods, our lives, the harvesting of all of it. Okay, where am I? Goddamn, nobody's gonna pay attention to anything I have to say because I can't string a thought or spit my words out. Here's the thing, okay. So a lot of, and I understand the impulse, I do, that we should all go skip off into the mountains somewhere, be our own little John Muir, and, live off grid and start homesteading. And it's commendable. It's also entirely unrealistic and impossible. I mean, what, there's 365 million Americans? we're all just going to live in the mountains somewhere. And quite frankly, so I live in a place that was once upon a time teeming with life and wilderness and open space for as far as the eye could see. And then, you know, a bunch of people moved here and moved out, other people, so they could live here. And civilization just grows up around it. The wilderness doesn't need your help. The mountains don't need you. You should leave them alone, quite frankly. If you have found yourself taking a shit where you live, then you should stick around and clean it up. Okay, but the unrealistic part about it, all right? And man, I would love to homestead. I think a lot of people would love to homestead, and then they would start doing it and quickly discover that they're not cut out for that. It's very hard work if you're being realistic about it, okay? Shit. My grandparents. My grandmother was born in 1923. So, and my husband's grandfather was born in 1921. The two of them were contemporaries. Our families knew each other. And they had a very living memory from the Great Depression and being Depression-era farmer kids. And what it is really like to live off the land. Not paycheck to paycheck, but hand to mouth. Hand to mouth. That's tough. The only thing on your mind is, where am I to get my next meal? I am talking in circles. I apologize. Here, you know, off-grid is off-grid, man. No internet, no Wi-Fi. I mean, at least it was back in the day. Like, you would just, you know, pop off. I don't have several $1 million to go buy an acre or 4 to live off-grid. I live in a place where I can't have chickens. I can't. You know what I can do? I can barter with people who do, though. This is what I want to, because I want to talk to people who know they're not running off into the woods, right? You're not going to buy anything. You're living in a city, you're living in an apartment, you're living in a condo or a duplex, I don't know, suburbia, right? It's the system we're in. And it absolutely needs to be changed. Running away isn't going to change it. You can, okay. So this is what I'm trying to do. This is what I'm trying to do. How do you do a lot more with less? Which sounds like you're depriving yourself. You're not. You just stop paying other people to feed you in a restaurant kind of way. Stop doing it. Stop doing it. Give up cable. I pulled that out in 2013, I think. I got tired of paying for commercials. Do you know how much money pharmaceutical companies pay networks to run their commercials? And then they have the gall to charge you to watch it? Like, I just can't get in line with that, so I don't. I no longer participate in the workforce. And I know what that means for my financial future. Probably ruin. Hell, they've been priming me my whole life to, you know, accept the fact that Social Security isn't going to exist anyway. I can't depend on that. And I need to pull myself up my bootstraps and do it all myself, so I'm going to. I don't, I can't post this. I'm rambling. You know, I left the workforce for a while to kind of heal up. And I had every intention on going back. Things drug on for a while, and then I didn't. And then I thought, well, maybe I should, you know. I'm kind of bored, I'm restless, my mind is bored. I want to do something. I should have a retirement account. Uh, but I live in one of those states where my autonomy is affected. They want me in the kitchen, playing nice little housewife. So I said, challenge accepted. You don't want me in the workforce? Fine. You don't want me to shop and spend money? I can do that. I'm pretty good at that. Turns out abstinence is my superpower. I'm pretty good at kicking habits. You don't want me to buy a coffee and avocados? Sure. I'll help you. I'll give that to you. Eggs are too expensive? That's cool. I know somebody who has some. How about I barter some work for that? How about my skills are so good we could barter for half a beef? How about we do that? I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Still, shit, man. You got property taxes. You gotta pay taxes. I still have to buy flour, because last time I checked, homesteaders don't grow their own wheat. I don't mean to be an asshole, but like, the reality is that we live here in this mess, and it's our job to clean it up somehow. And how to do that, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't even know where to begin. The onion is so big and so ugly and so messy. My household will absolutely lose our health insurance come January. We are ready for that. We went a very long time without it. We only just had it in the last 2 years because of that tax credit. Before that, we would get it through my career. Sorry, I'm getting nervous. Makes me nervous. My pulse is racing. There are things we can do. There are things we can do, right? You know, how many people did it take for a late night talk show host to come back online or whatever? That one thing, you guys gave it up for a weekend. Can you give it up for a year? Can you give it up for 8? Can you stop shopping? Like altogether, man, full stop. Are we going to the store every weekend to like, what's the new season? I almost fell for it. I'm not gonna lie. We had to leave the house yesterday. We're out of butter because I don't churn that, right? And what else do we need? Chicken broth and, you know. So we go to the store. Oh, and there's Christmas lights up and the displays and this cool little pretty rug that, oh, it's so pretty. I wanted the pretty rug. No. No. All the tough love I grew up with kicked in. And I said no. That's all you have to do. Fast fashion, no. Someone older than me once said, in my family, okay, much older, buy one nice instead of 2 cheap. Well, nowadays, you get to buy one nice instead of like 7 cheap, right? You buy a pair of shoes, you can wear those out inside of 20 minutes, unless you buy good shoes. I spend decent money on shoes, but I only own 2 pair. One for the treadmill that we bartered for. I have this old ass Nordic Track in the spare room. It was in this dude's garage. And this was years ago, 7, 8 years ago. I had been in the house And I'm starting to waste away, man. I'm losing all my muscle mass. I'm eating one meal a day. We had very little money in the beginning. After that, very little money. We almost lost it all, but we hung on. Anyway, I wrote a post-it note in the middle of summer. Set it on my husband's nightstand. Said, "Dear Santa, can I please have a treadmill for Christmas?" Like, we don't have that kind of money. It's not coming out of anything. We'd have to sell a car for me in order to go out and buy a new treadmill. And my husband was working on a job. 7, 8 months later, a year later, he's at this man's house doing some remodel work. My husband's a Finnish carpenter. And this guy had this Nordic Track in the garage. It was folded up, and all the subcontractors just kept pushing it around. It's just in the way. Meantime, my husband had what he was using for his stand, for his saw, was this old hand-painted Harley Davidson sign from like the 80s, from an old shop that I don't think exists anymore. But it was in his parents' garage. My husband was like, "This is a flat surface and it's useful, I'm gonna use it." And he put it on his sawhorses and he's cutting stuff. Well, this homeowner come out and he said, how much would you take for that sign? And my husband said, "It's useful to me. It's not for sale." And then a couple of days went by and the light bulb went on. My husband approached him. He said, "Tell you what, I'll trade you that sign for that track you got in your garage." So I got myself a treadmill. And I'm running to beat the band, man. I'm gonna try and run a marathon one of these days. I've never done it. So I'm gonna. Anyway, so I have a pair of shoes, the treadmill, and my feet, and that's about it. Because what do I need 17 pairs of shoes for? Once upon a time I did. When I worked, I did. It was like a reason to go out and buy a whole new wardrobe, because I had to. And now I don't. I don't buy makeup anymore. I don't spend money on that. I still spend money on shampoo. Nice shampoo. It's not super expensive, it's just Paul Mitchell. I'm out of conditioner at the moment, so I'm going without. Just until I get around to picking up some more. Bar of soap for my face, I still buy a department store brand. I don't need to name it, it's fine. I should use toner, started putting it on the last couple of days. I have some left over. Anyway, where am I going with this? Shop less. Shop less. That's where I'm going with that. Shop less. Shop local. Shop local. Even if you have to go to a big box store, it's here in town. It's already moved from a truck to your place. Hang on to shit. Rewash all the containers. Stop buying frozen pre-made meals. I think frozen lasagna is a sin. Anyway, and I'm an atheist, but just make it yourself. You don't want that. You don't want to eat that, man. Don't eat that. Besides that, do you know how much subsidies we've already paid them to package it? Stop doing it. Little things you can do. I guess this is what I'm trying to say. There is so much you can do. And I know you think that it's nothing, it's just drop in the bucket. What can one person do? Like I said, man, that evening talk show host guy is on fucking TV again. I'm gonna swear too many times. And so imagine if you just decided, I'm gonna use my feet. I'm not gonna get in a car. Because then I don't have to put gas in it. That was my whole point behind when I quit smoking. if I don't burn through this pack, I never have to buy another pack again. So things like flour, though, and sugar, salt, milk, you're gonna buy that again. Butter, I need that. I don't have cows to milk. This is not a homestead. Because I live in town, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and so I'm gonna do the best I can with what I have. I'm gonna reuse every last thing I have. I'm gonna go dig through all the stuff I own first. I'm gonna dig through my parents and my neighbors and ask friends and borrow, you know. Don't take out another loan as long as I live. No more credit cards. That doesn't exist here. Thank Christ. Hey, you know, and our lives are not any less. They're not. Just filled with music and jokes, laughter. We hang out a lot more, you know? I don't know, the two of us are oddly happier than we've ever been. I don't know. It's weird. I'll take it. Even though the rest of the world is really something to be weary of. But I mean, that's the other thing too. If you have someone, dig a foxhole. Get your best mate to jump in it with you. Cling to each other. Play a card game. I don't know. Play a board game. When's the last time anybody did that, right? Stupid shit like that. Go outside and stare at the sun, you know? You never know, you might like it. Make it a game. See how much money you can go without spending. Just see what you can do. The nice thing about dropping cable and a la carting your streaming services, like, you know, what I've done is, like, I've had subscriptions to several services, and then I watch everything they have, and then I cancel it. That's good for me. I'm done. You weren't put on this planet to prop up someone else's bottom line. So, just remember that. You were put here to do God knows what. Figure it out. Who knows? You know, the world holds people like Albert Einstein. Well, yeah, and Stephen Hawking as geniuses, and I'll give you that. I will. But I'm a firm believer that anything is learnable. And if the rest of us had 16 to 24 hours in a day to dedicate to quantum physics, we'd probably all figure it out. So, anyway. I'm really glad you're here. I'm clinging to the last few days of warm summer because very soon it's gonna be gross, cold. So, anyway, the high today is 87, which I think is, what, that's gotta be close to 30 Celsius, right? 30? I could be wrong. It's warm though, warm. Have to lose the flannel. Anyway, I don't know. I apologize. This was such a ramble. So, you have a good Friday. Look around, man. What can you do? What can you do to do less? Give them less. Give them less money out of your pocket. Do you buy soda? Stop buying soda. Stop paying for soda, dude. Don't pay for the soda. That is in a plastic bottle that is refined from petroleum byproducts. They're garbage, they're leftover, they're waste. And so they get to sell it to some plastic maker like Coca-Cola. Sorry, I mentioned a brand there, or name one, you know, I don't give a shit. It's full of sugar, it's bad for your body. It's like just bad, and you've paid for all of it already. Their tax breaks and subsidies, they have some nerve to ask you to pay $219 again. Right? Anyway, I love your guts. I'm glad you're here and you have a good day.